Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast, The Neil Haley Show, and Talk Nutrition to Me with our host, Kelly Springer. Kelly, how are you? And we have another amazing guest. I'm really excited to hear from her because she's going to provide so much information for our listening audience, viewing audience, online audience, everybody.
Everyone needs to know this person, especially if you're a female. The age of 40, and me is 45. So we're so excited to have Loretta Dignam as part of our founder and CEO of Menopause Hub Academy, pioneering the voice in menopause education and advocacy. I know Loretta has gotten tons of different awards, but she shares her experience and expertise and insights on how nutrition plays a vital role in managing menopause symptoms and optimizing hormonal health. So I welcome you, Loretta. It is such an honor to have you on this podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here this afternoon. You raised expectations high, so I'd love to deliver.
All right, Kelly, I'm going to let you go with this. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. You've got to tell us what the Academy is, what it does. How did this get started? I want to know all the things.
So I was your typical woman. I was 49, had my last period, and very soon after that, I got promoted. And at that stage, I was working in the corporate sector, working in marketing and branding, and a single mom to an absolutely clueless menopause is what I can say. And so when my period started, hot flushes, they were the only two things I knew. So I knew, oh, I must be menopause. But to be honest, my perception of a menopause woman was somebody much, much older. And therefore, I thought it was way too young. This couldn't possibly be happening. Nobody in my friend group were talking about it. My mother didn't speak about it. Nobody spoke about it. And as a result, I went on a bit of a journey for a few years trying to get on top of symptoms I was aware of. I never heard the word perimenopause. And so all the symptoms that happened in my 40s, I was going from one specialist and doctor to another and tests. I had brain scans for my headaches. I paid for my ankles, going to a physiotherapist. I had dry eye, ended up in our accident and emergency department of our local eye hospital 3 times, and nobody mentioned it because I was going through all of this. So eventually, I started on hormone replacement therapy, diet and lifestyle and other things, and I got my old self back. And I decided I would now speak to other women about their journey because actually I was a bit outraged, to be honest, that here I was, a woman in my late 40s, early 50s, knew nothing about this, felt blindsided, and couldn't understand why it was so secret. Why was nobody talking about this? I just couldn't understand. So I decided I would start a revolution in Ireland around menopause. And I set up Ireland's first dedicated menopause clinic. So it's a multidisciplinary clinic, it's evidence based, and we offer services to women going through menopause that encompass everything from diet and lifestyle, pelvic physiotherapy, diet and nutrition, and psychology, and medical, and we offer it all to women. And basically, it's to help them. We have three values of our clinic. We have education, and that's the number one thing we focus on is educating about what's happening to them. Empathy, it's understanding and empathizing that this is something real. It's not imaginary, it's not in their head. And the third thing is that we empower them to make the choice around how they want to manage their menopause. And I set up the first clinic in 2018, in December 2018. Nobody was menopause. I campaigned with our government in Ireland to improve services for women. We got free hormone replacement therapy introduced this year as part of our budget for 2025. And then I started talking to corporates and educating and training corporates about menopause and place because 10% of women leave work because of their menopause and perimenopause symptoms. 4 in 10 consider leaving work. 4 in 10 take time off work, and 20% take 3 or more days. And I feel really passionate that this is a time when women are coming into their own. They're reaching a point in their career. It's an inflection point for them. And then they can experience a tsunami of symptoms they may not know about, but that can impact them in the workplace. And so really, I set about trying to improve women's lives in this phase of life so that they can continue to live the life. So that's what I do.
I love it. And I'm passionate about this. I started perimenopause at around 38 years old, very young. And I had doctors tell me that there's no way I was experiencing this, told I was crazy. Also had an OBGYN tell me that this is your new normal. And believe me, it was not. So as a woman that went through pretty young, I can tell you all the symptoms and things that I have endured leading to a hysterectomy, which I'm glad and I wish I had 4 years prior. So I think that this conversation of having two teenage daughters myself, I'm very proud. I wrote my daughter yesterday. She got herself to the doctor. She was having a couple things going on. And I said, I'm so proud of you for taking your health into your own hands, for understanding how important a women's health is, and also that we're now having more conversation about this. And I think it's because of people like you that we are. So thank you.
And I can't believe this is missing, Kelly, with our doctors.
Loretta, there is a statistic, and I know you're in Ireland, but in America, I believe it's less than 20% of OBGYNs are trained in menopause or perimenopause. Is that correct statistic?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think it's reflected internationally, it's reflected globally. And by 2030, there'll be 1.1 billion menopausal women on the planet, 12.5% of the global population, and every year 47 million menopausal women will come into the cohort. So we're talking half the population. And yet, we all know about erectile dysfunction. We all know about a male heart attack. You can get Viagra over the counter. We all know that when a man puts his chest and has a pain in his arm, that he's more than likely having a heart attack. A female heart attack presents differently. And it wasn't until 1993 that women were included in medical clinical trials because they were seen as too complex because of their hormones. And even when they did work and included rats and mice, they didn't do them on female rats and mice because they were too complex. So women getting attention, getting anything from the community is a recent phenomenon. And so we have to become advocates for ourselves. I'm speaking at an event the week after next, which is with the Endometriosis Society here. And it's the very same thing. It's been so taboo and secret. And women, very painful period, thought that this was their
Hormone.
this kind of pain that everybody was going through. And they were told, and it takes somewhere around 7 or 8 years for to be diagnosed with endometriosis. This is shocking. This is shocking as a woman. And I have a daughter. When I was going through menopause symptoms, she was going through puberty. And I looked at her and I said, you've just started these periods and menstruating and everything. You've got to go through your whole life now and you have to decide, and can you have children? Will you have children? With periods every month? What's the impact on your career? Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you want to be a working mom? Do you want to be part-time? Do you want to be full-time? This, that, and the other. Then you get to menopause and you think, oh, thank goodness I can leave all that behind. The children are more or less grown up and so on. And then another tsunami of stuff that's been kept secret. And so I decided, for my mother and her generation, I want to fix things so that my generation can do
Yes.
that. But for my daughter's generation, I want her to have an absolutely different experience of menopause. And she will.
And she will. And she will. And that's where I feel the same with my daughters. I remember my mother showing me like, Kelly, look, my face. And I'm like, Mom, I don't want to touch it. Like I can see sweat is dripping. And she was a mental health therapist. And she'd have to sit and work and counsel people while her face is dripping. And to be in the moment and to feel like you're being your best self. And again, just the awareness and talking about what this is and how she could have gotten a lot of help, I think, from hormone replacement therapy, but that was never an option. So we're learning so much every day. The research is coming. It is coming. I'm hoping and praying that we just have a solution for our own daughters. And so I'm grateful for you.
Absolutely. And I think that you are transforming society through your mission. That the more you can get out there and tell the public of your success in your country, the more you can help the world with women with menopause.
100%. Ireland and the UK. And although we're a little small country, we do punch above our weight globally. And we've just had St. Patrick's Day. Remember, that's our national. But so Ireland and the UK are leading, and Australia is doing really well in this space at the moment. But sitting here in Ireland, we can't believe that countries like Europe, Germany, France, Scandinavian countries aren't more progressed on this topic. And then when we look at the States, we can't believe that you're further behind where we are.
We are.
Yeah, so like I'm on a mission that this isn't just for Ireland, this is global. And we need individuals in this space to work together, to collaborate, to actually build the information and so on for women. And information is power, and women need to know what's happening. And then what will happen is they will demand more from their OB, they'll demand more from their physicians and so on. And the other big thing is that there was a study done in 2002, which was the Women's Health Initiative, which did an awful thing for women in the sense that overnight, so the headline had saying that hormone replacement therapy caused increases in breast cancer, stroke, and heart disease and clots. And overnight, women stopped going to the doctors about menopause, and overnight, they stopped prescribing. And as a result, a whole generation of doctors, I'm not saying hormone replacement therapy is the only solution, but what I am saying is that a whole generation of doctors stopped learning about menopause in any sort of in-depth way. And that has done women across the globe a disservice.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And there is now new research that hormone replacement therapy doesn't do those things. It actually can prevent osteoporosis and prevent heart disease if taken early enough, correct?
That's absolutely correct. And I don't advocate for anyone that she does what I do, which is diet and lifestyle, which is some supplements, which is some Pilates, strength training exercise, and some mindfulness on my hormone replacement therapy. So I have a toolbox I call my menopause toolbox, and it contains very multiple things in it. It's not just one. But a big disservice was done to women. And if a man had his testicles removed tomorrow, he would be more than likely offered testosterone replacement therapy. And so, why is there this big scaremongering? It has made an indelible mark on women and on men's profession, and it's taking years to get back to where we were before 2002.
What is your take between HRT and BHRT?
Oh, that's interesting because so HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and in Europe we call that regulated hormone replacement therapy. BHRT is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And the origins of HRT, primarily estrogen, were based on horses' urine, so equine sources. And pregnant mare's urine was one of the big sources of estrogen, and that was made into a form that was a woman could take in her body. But lots of things had to be added in because horses' urine is really natural for us to be taking. And one of the lead ones in that, which is a tablet, was called Premarin, pregnant mare's urine Premarin. So that was all over the world. In Europe, ahead in terms of development of hormones, we have had synthetic hormones develop since then, and the most modern form of hormone replacement therapy is actually called bioidentical, body identical, nature identical. But it's made by pharmacists, by pharmaceutical companies, and it is equivalent to BHRT. However, one is regulated and one is not. And the reason that the BHRT has grown up so much in the States is because you didn't have the pharmaceutical version that we have in Europe. And so the markets are very different. We've had what we call this one that's transdermal, so delivered through the skin through gels, patches, and creams. The go to your pharmacist to get. It's made by big pharmaceutical companies, and we've had that for years. But in the US, your regulation has been tougher around this, and therefore a lot of bioidentical compounding pharmacies have built up around.
Interesting.
I started my journey on BHRT, and then I went on a course on a clinical program in the UK, in London, with one of the top BHRT companies. And I learned about this pharmaceutical-based version. And I switched from one to the other because I knew I could have a clinic whereby I was on one and our doctors were prescribing something else. And I switched. To be honest, there was no difference.
Oh, good.
There was no difference. Yeah.
I hope we can have part 2, Kelly, of this because this is so intriguing. We need to
we're gonna have a part 2. This is incredible information, and we're really hoping Loretta and I are going to start speaking together I really do have a story to tell. And because I am only 45 years old and I've already experienced so much, and I still have more to go. And so I am very passionate about this topic, as you can tell. And I think we can all learn from you and all learn from what your clinic is providing. So let's see what we can do in America and get this.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
Loretta, where can people find you?
So they can go to our website, which is themenopausehub.ie, or they can go to our workplace training, and we're very interested in providing training to workplaces, and we'd love to work with you around that. We offer policy development, we offer accreditation, so you can find that on menopausehubacademy.com, or look me up on LinkedIn, or you can get us on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever TikTok, you name it, we're there. We would love to hear from you.
I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. We will do a part 2 of this. So all the listeners, there is more to come because I have a lot to learn myself.
All right.
Thank you so much, Loretta.
Fabulous.
Thank
That
you.
was the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and Talk Nutrition to Me with Kelly Springer. Take care, guys.